I do not read a whole lot for fun, at least. I wish I did, but sometimes there are not enough hours in a day. I have all sorts of things going on all the time, and am too busy to read. I have not read a book for fun in a long time. I feel that I am missing something because of that. What I'm missing is the sense of satisfaction after a really good ending, or the agony after a really bad one. I'm missing the feeling of being transported to another existence, one unconcerned with what is happening in the real world, one that remains unchanged, yet every time I go there, I discover something new, or understand something that I didn't before. A few years back, when I was in grade school, I read 2,000 pounds worth of books. Somerset Elementary had a very strong focus on reading, and it rubbed off on me, causing me to love it. There were computer programs that let you take quizzes on the books you read, and, if you did well, you earned points. The reward for getting over 100 points was getting your name on the wall behind the library desk, along with a star. I would always get more than enough points to achieve that. It wasn't that difficult, although at one point I discovered, to make things even easier, that I could take quizzes on really easy books to get easy points. My teacher, Mr. Humke, quickly found out and told me to read more challenging books, because reading easy ones would not help me improve. As I mentioned earlier, Somerset really kick-started my reading. I would read day in and day out, and when I finished a book, I would instantly check out another from the library. By the time 4th grade rolled around, I could read a medium-sized chapter book in a day or so. If I was reading a book of similar size that I had read before, I could devour it in 2 hours. Once middle school arrived, I still had hardly any homework, and my pace of reading remained mostly constant. But as the years went by, I started reading less due to the increased workload. With my free time filling up with schoolwork, I just didn't have a whole lot of time to myself. During the summer between 7th and 8th grade, I read 1 book. Granted, it was a long book, and it took me about a month to get through. Most days during that time, I just sat on my couch in the living room, reading. Sometimes I would accidentally skip meals. I usually wouldn't even change out of my pajamas. My mom was not too thrilled about this, and all I could say was, at least it was a really big book. However, the only reason the book was so long was because most of the book was filler material. The book, 11/22/63 by Stephen King, was about the Kennedy assassination. It was a time travel book, but the catch was that the main character could only travel to one specific moment in history, which happened to be a few years prior to the assassination. Therefore, the book was mostly just the main character waiting around. But that was it. To the best of my memory, that was the last book I read for fun. And then high school. I was doing all right at the beginning of the year. I didn't have too much homework except from social studies. I was also in the general language arts class. At that point, the class did not account for the majority of my homework load. Once I transferred to the advanced class, language arts was one of the classes I had the most homework from. I became very busy very quickly. I started to procrastinate more, but I managed to keep somewhat on top of it. That doesn't mean I had any free time. I was spending every moment from after school until late at night trying to start my homework, or, if I was lucky, I was already doing my homework. All of this year, I wanted to read a book on my own time, but my busy schedule and my ever more increasing homework load prevented me from doing that. Now, approaching the end of the year, I'm busier than ever. I'm on my last legs. I don't have time to focus on anything else. A while back, I was talking to a friend in the cafeteria, and I said something like, "If we had less homework and more free time, we would read more." He replied, "But if we had less homework and more free time, would we spend it reading? We have other things to fill our free time with." I think that if I had more time, I would read more. I just don't know yet if I had made myself too busy to read this summer. I have many things going on, not to mention my summer homework. Fortunately, I'm going to be busy with things I enjoy doing. And, as a silver lining to my summer homework for language arts, I will have to read. And maybe I will find another book on that list that I decide to pick up and read on my own time. Hopefully I will. I need to fill the void in the back corner of my mind with reading again, like it was not all too long ago.